I think we're live,
I'm over here
folks.
talking.
I think you're live, folks. I think Pennypack has a receipt for you to check out in a little bit.
I think so.
I think so. Uh-oh.
Next time, tell me when you push the button.
I told you.
No, I didn't hear it. Good morning, and we are live. Good morning. Good morning. I'm over here talking about Pablo Escobar, and boop, we went live. Here we go. Holding. Good morning. Did you sing good morning to the world? Have you told the world hello? Did you sing to the birds outside? Did you sing to the people inside? Did you sing good morning to the world? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Here we go. Let's get started. The more you sit in the self, There you go, Rodman, singing to cacti. They ought to make them grow fast. The more you sit in the self, the more you will begin to feel an energy that you have never experienced before. It comes up from behind rather than in front where you experience all of that other stupid mind and emotion stuff. Good morning to the world. Good morning. That which is holding you down can become powerful forces that raise you up. You just have to be willing to take the ascent. Good morning, nerdy nerd. You just have to be willing. The same exact thing that takes you down can lift you up. That's called recovery. You can use all those things for positive ends. How do you feel yourself? No, how do you free yourself? How, Gypsy? How do you free yourself? In the deepest sense, you free yourself by finding yourself. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, good morning to the world. Good morning. Billy D, off on an adventure. That's going to be fun for you, Bill. That's going to be great fun. Good job. Good morning to the world. I sing to the birds outside. I want them to know I smile, because they can fly so high. Good morning. You know dad jokes? You guys have heard it. You guys know what dad jokes are, right? You know they can be mentally traumatizing. You got to be careful which kid you tell the joke to and at what time. Proper set and setting. I'll explain.
I walked into the kitchen yesterday and I said to my dad, "Hey, I'm hungry." And my dad said, "Hi, hungry. I'm Dad."
Survivors.
Well, we were having dinner and Dad spilled his peas on the table. He looked right at me and said, "Oh no, I have just peed on the table."
Good morning, Tony.
about the new movie, Constipation? I was all like, what? No. And he said, it never came out. Who even calls a movie Constipation?
Isaac now hates the film industry.
My dad and I were going past the aquarium. He said to me, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? And he said, 10 tickles. But what? Oh, tentacles.
Scared of aquariums.
Hey Dad, can you make me a sandwich?
And what did Dad say?
Abracadabra. You are a sandwich.
Now, has an identity crisis. Good morning. Good morning to the world. You fathers, be careful what we're doing. I asked Brock, do you have any PTSD because of me? He left the room without answering. It was the most polite thing he could do. He just got up and walked out. Good morning, Sarah. So he just politely left the room. Not worth talking about. Okay? Give me 5 people that think I might have caused some PTSD in my son. 5 people. If you're a dad and you didn't cause PTSD, I think most of us have. I don't think it's okay. I think we can work on it. I think we can go back. I think we can mend fences. I think we can build better relationships. Okay, Nippy, why do we do it without meaning to? We have love in our heart. Nobody woke up and said, I'm going to give the kid PTSD today. But you probably found something that made it happen, 4-Leaf. Good morning. That little video was sent to us, excuse me, by Sue Littlemeyer. Sue Littlemeyer. I agree, Bush. I need to, that's why we get along good now, because I just admit I was an a-hole. Hey, I was an a-hole. Hey, what are you going to do now? I'll be better. Okay. It's hard to tell your kid you're an a-hole. Okay, it's very difficult. You don't do it exactly like that. Okay, do it differently. Take them for a walk, go to a park, something like that, sit down, explain to them in a responsible way that there was behavior patterns that you could improve. You can put it a lot different than, hey, I was an a-hole. What are you going to do about it? That's not exactly what we're looking for, but it's a start. Okay? Drill Sergeant I was too. I tried to be my dad to my son. I hated how my dad treated me. So I got an idea. Why don't I treat my son like that? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Is Corey D here this morning? Have I seen Corey D this morning yet? Is Corey D here? Corey D won a prize yesterday, but then there was something, and Corey was trying to... Bill D, I agree. Okay. Corey D, thank you, my friend Corey Core. I think Corey D won a package here yesterday, a prize, supplemental supplements, and he was giving it to Rodman. But then 3 seconds later, Rodman won a prize. So I thought it would be more appropriate, this is my thought, that Corey, there was also some talk about Corey gave it to Sam. Can I get clarification? I want clarification. I wanted everybody to get something. So is it going to Sam, Corey D? I think that was the person that we said instead of Rodman, because Rodman, in his generous way, said, Pops, I'm already getting one. He gave it to Sam Pozic. Okay, he gave it to Sam. Thank you. Sammy, I don't know if you're out there right now, but whenever somebody sees Sam here, Sam P, Pozic or Pozic? Pozic, I bet. Anyways, get Sammy's attention and make sure that Sammy understands that we have something coming from you guys to him. All right, help me out with that. Get the old Sam his thing. Okay. Jesus Christ, is that all? That's all you want? That's it? If you win a drawing, Jesus Christ, I'll send you a Bitcoin. I don't even want to talk about Bitcoin. Because I totally didn't believe in it. And so I decided maybe early January, I'm going to just take the dive. I'm going to go big. I'm going long. I want to see what this crypto game's all about. So I deposited $100 in it. And in about 5 days, it was at a point in the curve. This is a true story. I don't usually tell you guys my personal finances. $100. So I put a hundy in there. And in about, I would say, 4 to 5 days, it had jumped up to 110. 110. And I was like, I'm rich. I'm going to drop another 1,000 here and see, man, if you can make money this fast in this crypto game. I didn't put any more in. 5 days after the 4 days later, it's down to below 100. 5 days later, it's below 90. 5 days later, lower than 85. And I'm like, I'm getting out. I want my money back. I cashed out once it dropped to around 93. I lost $7 in my big situation. I lost $7, okay? And it was really bad because I checked it like 4 times a day, like I had 100,000 in there, okay? And I was like, I don't want to do this, okay? I lost like $7, okay? And I was like, why did I put myself through that when I already knew I don't want to do this, okay? So I'm not saying anything. I'm sure if somebody got it, as a matter of fact, we have a random facto here today. Somebody put a little Bitcoin in and what it is today. There's millions and millions of crazy. What about that one guy who had Bitcoin, 8 billion, something like $8 billion, some crazy number on his hard drive, okay? But the computer somehow or another ended up in the trash fill. So he's been petitioning the city for months to be able to go to the trash fill and dig out this hard drive. And they keep telling him, no, you can't do it. So his last move, wait for it, I'm buying the landfill. That's it. I know that the hard drive is in the landfill. They won't let me do it. I'm buying the landfill. Well, he knows hope he knows what he's doing. Anyways, I don't like politics, economics, religion. I just thought it was funny how little I couldn't hold on for more than about 3 weeks. That roller coaster ride, I'm like, this sucks. I don't want to be tied to for $7. I don't want to play. Okay. Cash money over here too, Greenie. Do you guys remember 2 days ago, yesterday, a couple of days ago, we did a rando facto. Me too, Niffy. I don't even know why I needed to play for a minute. I was stuck. I slipped back into the old plops for a second. But if you have to see that I didn't do it like I might have done other things in the past. This time I was, let me just dip my toe in the... You're right, Marcus, that's the way to go, buy gold. Gold is skyrocketing. It teeters at the top, but it's climbing. Do you guys remember we talked about Steve Jobs not knowing his father, going to his restaurant and eating there, actually tipping his father, and he didn't know it? Do you guys remember that? Did you remember? Some of us thought it was kind of sad. I know I did. And then I said, I'm going to look into the story. I need to know more about that. I need to know more about that situational. Does anybody here, it's about a 4 paragraph story. Does anybody here want to hear the story? Give me 5 people that Pops, tell us the rest of the story about Steve Jobs. Give me 5 people. If you're not interested, I have a whole bunch of other stuff in line here that we could cover. You want me to tell you the rest of the story? All right, cool. Enough of you want to hear it. Here we go. Apple Inc. co-founder Steve Jobs led a life marked by groundbreaking achievements in the tech industry. But his personal life, especially his family history, tells a story of emotional intricacies and unrealized connections. While it is well known that Jobs was adopted, a less known fact is that he unknowingly met his biological father multiple times. Here's the story. It's going to show you what religion does to people. Born in 1955 to Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joanne Scheibel, Jobs faced a life-altering moment early on. His mother decided to give him up for adoption because of a strong opposition from her father to her relationship with Jandali, who was a Syrian national. Jandali said, I was very much in love with Joanne, but sadly, her father was a tyrant, and he forbade her to marry me because I was from Syria. Jobs was adopted, so she puts the baby up for adoption. Jobs was adopted by Paul Jobs and Clara Hagopian, and he grew up unaware of his biological roots. His biological parents reunited and had another child, novelist Mona Simpson. But they eventually separated, with Joanne returning to the U.S. with Mona. Jobs' journey to discover his biological family began after his adopted mother died in 1986. He eventually met his biological mother and sister Mona. Describing this bond, Jobs said to Walter Isaacson, his biographer, Mona was not completely thrilled at first, the sister, but as we got to know each other, we became really good friends, and she is family to me. The story took an unexpected turn when Jobs and his sister sought out their biological father. But Jobs decided not to meet Jandali, fearing the potential exploitation of their relationship. If I meet him and he knows I'm a billionaire, he might just take advantage. Jandali was unaware of his encounters with Jobs. He told the New York Times, all of the successful technology people used to come to my restaurant, even Steve Jobs. He was a sweet guy and a big tipper. Jobs frequently visited a restaurant managed by a Syrian, not realizing it was his biological father. I shook his hands, and he shook mine, and that's all. Jobs said during a 60-minute interview. I learned a little bit about him, and I didn't like what I learned. Despite learning in 2006 that Jobs was his son, Jandali, driven by Syrian pride, refrained from initiating contact. He expressed his hope for a reconciliation through the New York Post. I live in hope that before it's too late, he will reach out to me. Steve will have to do that, as the Syrian pride in me does not want him ever to think that I am after his fortune. Jandali, reflecting on their shared traits, said, "This might sound strange, though, but I am not prepared. Even if either of us was on our deathbed, I'm not prepared to pick up the phone to call him. Steve will have to do that." Regret and a sense of loss marked Jandali's reflections on his lack of relationship with his son. Now I just live in hope that before it is too late, he will reach out to me, because even if to have just one cup of coffee with him would make me a very happy man, Jandali said. This story contrasts with Jobs' public image, highlighting the complexities of family and identity. The father and son never officially met before Jobs' death in 2011, leaving an emotional chapter in both their lives unresolved. So that's the whole story. They could have met. Neither of them wanted to get down off of their pride horse and make the first move. Neither one. You can be worth $1 billion and you can still be working with scars in situations. I have no judgment on this. I don't know anything more than this story, but it's sad. There, but for the grace of the universe, can go many of us. Sad. It did. It was a lot about money there, wasn't it? Well, I don't want him to think I'm after his money. He's going to be after my money. Money, money, money. What if they were both broke? I don't know. So give me 5 people. We don't like the story. I'm not saying you like the story, but give me 5 people that are glad we told the story. There's a lesson in there. Am I right? There's a lesson in there for all of us. It was good. It was good. Ego. Ego too, right, Derek Anderson? How do you want to... This is crazy. I think you guys already knew this. Dandruff has been around. Dandruff? I don't have any, I don't think. Scientists examined 125 million-year-old dinosaur remains, and they found that dinosaurs had dandruff. They published a study explaining that just like birds do today, dinosaurs used to shed their skin in tiny little flakes. Good morning, Ego. Dandruff. Wait, I want to tell you this other one. This one's cool. Remember we were talking about Bitcoin? Christopher Koch, a Norwegian student, once spent $27 on Bitcoin. 27 bucks on Bitcoin. Remember now, Pops did a hundy. This guy put in $27. And then he completely forgot about it. Years later, he remembered. That's the correct spelling, Herbie. Years later, but it isn't that Coke. Years later, he remembered and found out that his Bitcoins were now worth $886,000. Wrong button. 886,000 from his little $27 investment. Pops, you should have hung in there a little longer. Pops, you bailed a little early. God. Oh, good for him. Good for him. How would you like to have so much money that you don't know what to do with it? Literally don't know what to do with it. I'm just gonna buy a butterfly farm. I think. I have to find ways to bleed this money because I can't put it in the bank. If I put it in the bank, I'll get busted. Cartels. Mr. Pablo Escobar, he had that problem. So he figured it out. What we're going to do is we're going to store the money. We're going to store it. Okay? A year later, they go to pull out some of the money. And he had to do a 10% write-off because the rats had eaten over 10% of the cash. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. 10% write-off on mouse damage. Okay? I'm wondering, I was asking Brock about this morning. I go, do you think that the people that were responsible for packing the money away, do you think they're alive? What do you think? What? Pablo, I want to know. Who put the money in the barn? No cats. Okay. I wouldn't want to be responsible for deciding where that money was stored. Boop. Oh gosh, I smell a rat. This is crazy. You want to hear something super craziness, crazy super? It takes longer to train as an edamame or a sushi chef in Japan than it does to train as a doctor. Yeah, some people work for up to 20 years before they receive such a noble position. Rolling, I get there's a lot of skill in sushi. I get that. I really do. But are you telling me I can't learn how to make a sushi in about a year, the whole deal? Rolling rice and, seaweed paper. And are you telling me it's going to take me 20 years? 20. Just give me a surgeon. I'll be the surgeon then. Forget it. Sushi chef at Walmart takes 2 weeks. Oh, well, I get the dedication part, Hags, but come on. That sounds more like slavery. It seems more like, that sounds like indentured servanthood to me. Okay? There's no way I can't nerdy. I'm going to learn how to do a dragon roll the first day I'm in. Okay? First day I'm in. I love sushi. I never thought I would. But no way. Longer than it takes to be a doctor. Yeah, that's indentured servanthood. You don't even get to touch the knife for the first 5 years. Okay? You're still making rice, pal. You're back on the rice puffing machine. Come on. There should be like an advanced placement course or one of those, fast courses. Here we go. Here we go. This is going to be crazy. You guys heard this one before. You guys have heard this before. The number of tigers in the captivity in the United States is higher than the number of tigers living out in the wild. I'm going to have a problem with that. How many zoos are there? And not every zoo has a tiger in it. What are we looking at? 200, 300 tigers here? Zoos? What do we... I mean, it's on my rando facto sheet, so I'm going to say... This is one of those ones that really... We have more in cages than in the wild. And that's just here in the United States cages. Set them free, Aaron. Texas and Oklahoma, what are they, storing up tigers? Oh, there is that Joe Tiger guy, right? He's responsible for about half of them. I refused to watch that whole thing. Brock was like, you should watch that. It's pretty funny. I'm like, that is the gross. Those two people, what the hell? Can't they just make mushrooms and be kind? So I didn't get involved. I don't want to know the story. Final rando for today. You guys ready? Right, Nippy? I don't even want that information in my brain. This is just going to blow your mind. Mathematicians estimate that each glass of water that you drink Yep, I'm feeling Egyptian. Each glass of water you drink contains at least a single molecule of water that was drunk by Cleopatra. Did she drink a lot? There's at least one molecule. Cleopatra and I are... Yep, Cleopatra. She's just picking some world figure, right? How about this? What's more, for every sip you take... Sip! Hold on. This is going to be a sip. See, I had to drink the whole glass to get Cleopatra's one molecule. Wait, I'm going to get a sip. Watch. Definitely Jurassic. For what's more, for every sip you take, there's one molecule that was drunk by a dinosaur. The dinosaurs and I are at the water side. What do you think, Dino? I don't know, Pops. How's the water? Yeah, one sip, we're sharing. There's only a limited amount. And we keep sharing them and spreading them back around and in and out. And hey, give me 5 people that blows their mind. Give me 5 people that blows their mind. Cleopatra and the dinosaurs. We're drinking them every day. Wow. Pretty crazy stuff. Good rando factos today. Good rando factos. No kidding. We're killing it with the rando factos. What's that deal with when you die or you think you're going to a near-death experience? You see a light, a bright light. Am I right? There's even a couple of movies, so I remember watching a comedy, not Poltergeist. Poltergeist mixes you up. They tell her, go to the light, don't go to the light, run towards the light, stay away from the light. Poltergeist, they didn't really do it very good with Carol Ann. But there's a couple other movies, I forget which one it was. Maybe it was There's Something About Mary, or one of those movies where the guy's like passing out and he's gonna die, it looks like, and they're yelling at him, don't go to the light. I remember watching that just dying of laughter. If you don't want to die, don't go to the light. Am I right? Okay? Let's read this article. Not just hallucinations. Studies reveal there's a biological basis of near-death experiences. Interested? Give me 5 people that are pops. Talk to us about that light and the near-death thing that we experience. Is it brain? Is it evolution? What is it? What's going on? Sanam, you're absolutely right. It's an NDE. It's called a near-death experience. Seeing a white light, feeling yourself leave your body, and sensing the presence of some sort of supernatural entity are all hallmarks of near-death experiences, otherwise known as NDEs. And scientists think they may now be able to explain these strange, conscious phenomena. I'm going to tell a quick story. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to tell this quick story. I had a near-death experience where I left my body. It's hard to explain because I didn't believe in any of this stuff at the time. I was a young kid in the Marines, but I had a Volkswagen at the time. And we were up in the mountains in Southern California, up in the Angeles Forest. And I had a girl in the car with me, beautiful little girl. We were boyfriend and girlfriend almost, except that her dad didn't like the fact that she liked a military guy. So we had to sort of sneak around. Okay, Laura was her name. So we were a little sneaky, so we go up to the mountains and hang out. And we're driving back down windy mountain road, all the way down. And somehow, I don't know exactly how, I lost control of the car. I forget exactly how, but I remember every bit of this. The car, I'm on the outside lane that's closest to the cliff, and it's a drop. It's a big drop. But there's a curb, kind of a curb. And the 2 right-hand wheels hit the curb, and in slow motion, the VW Bug is going over the edge. And just as it's going over the edge, this is true, I leave my body. I can now, some part of me is outside of the accident scene, watching it from like a helicopter view. Okay? And I'm watching this car flip through the air, and this is a true story, there were 2 trees sticking up out of the side of the cliff. Almost the only 2 trees in the whole area. And the VW, boom, gets caught in one of these trees. Okay? Now it's stuck in the tree, and as soon as Jason, I really don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it personal, but I'm telling a true story here. And as soon as the VW lands in the tree, I pop back in my physical body, and I'm inside the VW. And I look over to the right, and the passenger, Laura, is not in the car. I'm like in the tree, in the car, going like this, and Laura's not there. And roll the window down on my driver's side, climb out into the branches of the tree, and where do I see Laura? Laura's caught in the branches of the tree. She had flown out the window of the car as we were flying through the air. I hadn't seen that part. So now I scramble up to the bank. And this is before cell phones. Okay? So I have scramble up to the bank. Laura's in the tree. The VWs it's probably 2 or 3 twigs away from dropping. And I'm up on the bank and I flag down somebody that's driving down the mountain. Man, you gotta get help. And it must have taken a good 20 or 30 minutes for the fire engine and an ambulance and that to come back up the mountain. Luckily, Laura never fell out of the tree. They were able to attach a winch and pull the car out. I ended up with a sprained wrist and a couple of scratches. And Laura ended up with a dislocated shoulder. That was it. The end part of the story is, first of all, I can't even believe that I saw this all from outside of my body. And it was like, you see your whole life flash before you, like, boom, from now till I was a baby. Melissa G, you got the final part. Oh, Dad didn't like me already before going in. Okay? Oh boy, try bringing Laura home after that one. Yeah, Laura and I never saw each other again. Not one time. No, found out she had just made sure her shoulder was going to be okay, and that was it. Pops, you're out of her life. Okay. I would have done the same thing if I was the dad. What an idiot. What were you doing in the mountains with my daughter in the first place, you idiot? Okay. True story. Okay. The dad was not into Pops at all. But I'll never forget, the reason that it's so present in my mind is I can still almost go back to that exact moment. I can still see it. I see the whole thing in my mind's eye. Crazy. And I told people, like this one fellow, it's all a lie. No, it really isn't. It really happened. Yeah. It's a true story. And I think the reason I told the story, first, it was pretty fun to tell when you survive. Second, I really did have an out-of-the-body experience. Yeah, I did. It was, I've never before and never since. Thank God. I've never flown over the cliff again. But yeah, I did it. I had an NDE. Often reported by cardiac arrest sufferers after resuscitation, these stereotypical visions and sensations may actually represent an evolutionary response to mortal danger, according to the authors of a new study. Interesting. I'm going to finish this here real quick. Describing NDEs as episodes of disconnected consciousness that occur in the face of, wait for it, actual or potential physical danger. The researchers go on to review the existing literature regarding the psychological and neurological underpinnings of these experiences. Tying all the data together, they propose a comprehensive model that incorporates previously suggested theories. Dubbed the neurophysiological evolutionary psychological theory, understanding near-death experiences, otherwise known as Neptune, the model suggests that NDAs begin when oxygen levels drop in the brain while carbon dioxide concentrations skyrocket, resulting in a cerebral acidosis. This then sets off a chain reaction that leads to increased neuronal excitability in key brain regions, such as the temporal parietal junction and the occipital lobe. This is accompanied by massive release of endogenous neurotransmitters. For instance, increased serotonin signaling may be responsible for the vivid visual hallucinations that typify NDEs, while spikes in endorphin and GABA levels are theorized to generate a feeling of deep peace. At the same time, the researchers say a flood of dopamine could explain the profound feelings of hyper reality associated with these hallucinations. Seeking an evolutionary basis for this mechanism, the studies suggest that NDEs might form part of a defense cascade triggered by neurophysiological responses to threats when fight or flight behavior responses are no longer possible. You're in a no-win situation. You cannot fight and you cannot fly. Boom. In such situations, they say, people could enter a state of mental dissociation, allowing attention to be focused on oriented visuals to help them cope with and survive life-threatening situations. I've said this many, many times, had I not left my body and then got back in right after the accident, I believe I would be dead. I believe leaving my body for the time that this accident was being performed, taking place, and then boom, back in my body right after the car lands, I truly believe I would have died. Broken neck, who knows what. Maybe the tree wouldn't have caught the car. I don't know. This may explain why certain individuals are more prone to NDEs than others. Yeah, Sue, probably. I might have even had who knows? I might have been a part of a heart attack. I was a young kid though. With those displaying a higher propensity for dissociation or daydreaming, they're more likely to see the white light when faced with existential threats. Kynan, you agree? There you go. On top of this, the research notes that the NDEs are also more common in people who are particularly predisposed to REM intrusion, whereby brain activity linked to dreaming occurs while awake. The study authors go on to concede, despite our efforts to develop a comprehensive model, some questions remain. For example, what combinations of the above-mentioned processes are necessary or sufficient to trigger an NDE? Additionally, while the Neptune model may help to demystify certain aspects of NDEs, it does not explain other elements like precognition, whereby those who undergo such an experience are left with a sense of knowledge about the future. Some people that experienced what I did come out like, now I can tell the future. I didn't get that one. The only future I knew, I could tell this one right away. Laura's dad's gonna be pissed. Yeah, I have to go tell him. I didn't want her just to be dropped off like at the hospital and, I had to stay there till the dad got there. I mean, that's what a man's supposed to do, but I took it. But I knew. I had precognition on that one. Laura's dad. Not going to go well. Thank God. I'm going to wear my uniform. That's it. Stop by the barracks and get my uniform on. He's not going to hit a Marine. I did. I made sure I was at the hospital. I had to tell the dad personally. Yeah, I had Laura up at well, nothing happened, sir. Nothing happened? What? My daughter's in the hospital. Okay. Yeah, I was there too because of my, but I literally had a sprained wrist. Like maybe the wheel got jerked out of my hand fast or something. Big deal. Give me 5 people that like that story. There were no seatbelts, Brian C. And thank goodness. And Laura would probably have died. How did she get out the window? How the heck did she get out the window? And she's hanging in the tree. Like, Laura, hold on. Help is coming. No kidding. I want my dad. I don't. Give me a number. Hey, it's weird stuff happens. I agree. Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Give me a number between 1 and 50, Queenie. First person to say the number that's in my chute right now between 1 and 50, I'm going to send them a supplemental supplement. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 50. It's in my chute as we speak. All right, it did not fly out of the tree. Give me a number between 1 and 50. Okay, alternator. Brian C. Kill the game, Brian C. Good job, Brian. Brian C. 35. Brian said 35. And by golly, by gum, Brian was right. Brian, send me your address. I think you know how. And I'm going to send you a pack of supplemental supplements. Oh, that was fun to tell that story. I haven't relived that story in a long time. Stay away from the light. Stay away from the light. I'm going to read 2 readings this morning. Okay? I'm going to read 2 readings this morning to us. What a gorgeous morning today's been. Today's been beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thanks to everybody that are here today, including Lokesh Kumar. Birds and ornithologists. What is an ornithologist? That's a person that studies birds, right? The bird studier, an ornithologist. Birds do not need an ornithologist to fly. What? They don't need me? Nah. They don't need the guy that studies them in order to do what they do. We spend so much time wanting to be seen and named as intelligent or good or handsome or pretty or successful or popular or nobody's fool. Yet the spirit doesn't know it's being spiritual any more than water rushing knows it's a stream. And the heart doesn't know it's expanding with compassion any more than a hawk spreading its wings knows it's being a hawk. Nor does someone acting out of love often realize that they are being kind. From an early age, we are taught that to live fully is to be accepted. And to be accepted, we have to be seen. So we base success and even love on the effort to be seen, on how much we stand out. However, this painful truth we often discover along the way is that to survive in an inner way that matters, that keeps us connected to everything that ever lived and all the living, Cleopatra, dinosaurs, each other, we sorely need to know how to be accepting. By this, I don't mean being passive. By this, I mean inhabiting our capacity to see and to affirm the common pulse of life we find in others, no matter how different they may seem from us. We have been taught to highlight differences. And there you see all the problems of the world, borders and bombs, because they've highlighted differences instead of highlight the fact that we should be growing compassion for one another. It says it right here. Affirm the common pulse of life we find in each other. Their pulse of life is no different than mine. When we do this, we no longer need to be different to be valued. No longer need to be accepted to know love. In short, this is beautiful. We no longer need an audience to fly. Oh, Pops, that was my sickness. Oh, I wanted an audience. Watch me fly. And I'm going to fly further and faster and better. And all the values on flying as a performance. In short, we no longer need an audience to fly. The Shrooms have taught me that. They're not in there worrying about how I fly. I get to spend some time in a basement all by myself or with an assistant, and I'm purposed and I'm on one mission. And I don't care if anybody sees me or not. I'm not there for that. We simply have to extend our sincerity to each abiding day, and we will be in accord with what is beautiful. Like flowers waiting on rain, our hearts wait to love. As much as we want to be seen and known, it is the giving of attention that keeps us awake. God, that's beautiful. We had it all mixed up. Much as I want to be seen and known, it's when I give that I'm truly awake. That's when I'm in accord with all that's valuable. Giving attention opens us to love. And accepting the deep things wait like seeds between us and believing in the world. So wake me by accepting me, and the world will sprout like grass. Whew. One more. These are two shorties this morning. This is all interconnected, just like the molecules that we started out today talking about. Another name for God is surprise. While rushing to complete your dearest plans that you tell no one, you can bump into another and groceries will fly. And while picking up the ketchup, you might fall in love. Or in your second year of college, while studying what mommy and daddy want you to be, you can accidentally open a book on Albert Schweitzer and discover that you feel compelled to go to Africa. Or understanding geometry, you might decide better to become a gardener. Finding endless joy in creating landscapes. Or the death of your grandmother might open a side of you that is starving for history. It seems that any moment of interest or pain or adversity can surprise us into a larger totality of life, breaking our current limits and allowing us the chance to redefine ourselves in regards to the larger sense of things that are going on, that we are opened so suddenly and so often, is actually the way the earth unfolds. We can never be prepared for everything. No one person can anticipate all of life. In fact, over-preparation is yet another way to wall ourselves from life. Rather, we can only prepare for how we might respond to the gift of surprise. What we can do is we can prepare ourselves for the gift of surprise. What are you going to reply? How are you going to respond to that gift? You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know when you're going to get one. But we can guarantee as the earth unfolds, you will get surprises. The gift of the surprise moves us faster than our reflexes can resist. Life is surprising. Thank God. And God and the chance to know oneness. We thank both. We live in a world of surprises. For God is seldom in our plan, but he's always there when it's unexpected. Don't be surprised. You guys go have a wonderful, beautiful day. Thank you for being here. Good stuff. Have a sip of Cleopatra later on, okay? Have a sip of Cleopatra. No, sip of dinosaurs and drink a whole cup and you can get yourself a Cleopatra. Have a great day, you too, Vague. I'm going to scroll you guys out of here. We'll be back tomorrow telling more great stories. Going over the cliff again. Who knows what stories we're going to come up with tomorrow. Okay, Mello, that sounds fun. Thank the universe that the tree cod pops. Yeah, I can still, to this day, there I am watching it all unfold from up above. Have a beautiful day, my friends. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. Cleaning and Melody Dawn and Herbie Von Werby Kabop, Broken Furby. Jesus Christ and Marcus. And Aaron, thank you. And Married Michael and Sanum and Nerdy and Mello. And Derek Anderson, thank you, my beautiful friend. Marky Z, Cat Meow Zilla, Marcus McCarty, Kynan, Herbie, Green Killer. That sounds great, Greenie. Billy D, enjoy your mini vacation. We'll catch up with you when you get back next week. Eagle for Ecology, I'm glad you came here this morning. Jolie, love ya. Niffy, you have a beautiful day. Hug Ava. Excuse me. Funny Zenverse. Good morning, my friend. HB Haig, snap on you, my good friend. Coach Carmen says hi. Nippy and Ishmael Barraza Villegas. And Justin, he's okay. B. Hendricks, thank you. Mike Butterball, Deborah, she's a pearl. Trenty, there's Trent. Marcus and Melissa G. It was a pop hugger. And I never even liked trees until last year. No kidding. Free, have a great day. Melody Dawn, great to hear you. See you. Penny Pack. Penny! Wait a minute. Penny? Penny! Tell Ted hi. Mr. 420, Jesus Christ in Australia. Billy D, Nippy, Mellow, Nerdy, Aaron, Jesus Christ Rodman, the Most High, Jesus Christ and Nippy, Kynan, and Mikey, Buddy Ball, and Bill D and Marcus, and Sue Littlemeyer. And Sue's kind of on a bigger mire than you think. Wazzy, have some dinosaur dander and wash it down with Cleopatra. Blah. Okay. Jolie and Joe D's. Mr. 420 Brian. Melody, D, and Niffy. Penny, we're glad to see her. Mike and Laura, have a divine day, my good friend. Ego and Herbie and Carnivs and Penny and Mike and Niffy. Good job, Niffy. Marcus and Billy D and Brian C and Joe D's and Kynan and Penny Pack. I love you, Billy D. Derek Anderson, Glassic, Mike Butterball, Marcus Rodman, and there's Michael Shanti Patterson. Pops, peace, each other love each other love each other. 4 things. Be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Don't have expectations. HB, help me out with this one. HB, where are we going with the last one? HB, drop it in here. HB, there it is. Always do your best. Get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.